All right, Crystal. Crystal, where'd you grow up? Where are you from originally?
Upper Darby.
And tell me about your family growing up. You had mom and dad?
Um, I was raised with my grandparents, my grandfather and step grandmother, but she raised me, so she was like I called her mom.
What happened to your biological mom?
She she had an addiction problem too. She went to go get milk and left me with a friend, I guess formula, and she didn't come back for a couple of days. So
How old were you when this happened?
6 weeks, I believe so.
So that's when you went to your grandparents?
Yeah,
How would you describe your childhood in general?
childhood. Well, I knew they were my grandparents, and I remember the first time meeting my real mom. I was always afraid her and my dad were coming to steal me, and I mean, I didn't want for anything. You know what I mean? I had brand new school clothes when it was that time. Christmases were good, but I wasn't with my mom and dad. You know what I mean? Like when everyone else was writing Happy Father's Day at school, I would write Happy Father's Day. And then they'd say, Dear Dad, so I'd write like the other kids. But then I'd go erase it before I went home and be Papa, because I was embarrassed, you know what I mean? They were older.
But your childhood was good with your grandparents? No abuse? Nothing like that?
No, not abuse. I mean, my grandfather, he was a drinker. He drank every day, but he went to work, like at a functional one, I guess. My mom was like my grandmom. She drank on the weekends, played poker machine, like that was her thing. And she had 5 kids. They were all older. They all did drugs. But like, it wasn't like I didn't know that they did drugs at first. But then my one uncle, he didn't have no kids. So he was like, he took to me. He was like my dad. And I found him dead of a drug overdose, heroin, when I was 9. There was like 5 or 6 of us, all the cousins had slept over that weekend. And he was asleep in the chair and he didn't wake up.
You finished high school?
No, I got my GED.
When did you drop out of?
I dropped
School.
out. Well, when my grandfather died, my mom got a check for me, survivor's benefit or whatever. So she kept me enrolled, but I didn't go. So once the truancy fines overcame like more than what the check was, then she signed me out finally. But I got pregnant early, like 17. So I went and got my GED and all, and I wound up getting it before I would have got it if I stayed in. But so I got my GED and my license and had my kid.
And drugs started for you at what age?
The first time I smoked weed was probably like 11 or 12. And then, drinking, and that was like a weekend thing for my family. So the adults would be drinking and all the kids, and then everything was a party. Someone got baptized, it was a party. Easter was a party, everything was a party. So all the cousins, we all would be sneaking beers and drinking. I was one of the younger ones. Like if there was 4 of us, I was the younger out of them 4, and then 3 younger underneath me.
And you ended up going out on your own at what age?
Doing what?
You went on your own at what age?
Went out on my own. I lived with my mom when I had my kid, when my daughter, 18. I got my first apartment. 23, 24.
How old are you now?
40.
You're 40. And you have how many kids?
2 girls, 17 and 21.
And where are they now?
The 17-year-old's with my aunt, and 21-year-old, she went with my biological mom. She was staying with the same aunt, and then I think like last year or the year before, she got in a fight with my aunt and went to my biological mom.
You stay in contact with your kids?
No, I did, and I just said like I've been like this run, because usually I'll get clean after so many months, or I'll go to jail and get clean when I get out there. This run's been like 5 or 6 years, and that oldest one she don't talk to me. I don't have her number. And the youngest one, if I call like my aunt where she lives, she'll talk to me, and but no, I don't really see them or talk to them that much. And I was real close with them. I was like, I had a house, I had an in-ground pool, I had a job. Like I had my oldest until 14, and then that's when shit started blowing up for me.
And your drug use went from alcohol to harder drugs?
well, alcohol as a teenager to Xannies and Coke and all the party drugs, acid, all that. Then eventually, I think like 17, it was the first time I tried heroin right before I got pregnant with my daughter, my oldest daughter. And when I got pregnant with her, that was it. No drugs, no cigarettes. I didn't do nothing with both of them. I didn't do any drugs or alcohol. And then each time after a couple months, I would start getting high again.
So today you're using fentanyl or heroin?
Nothing really has heroin in it now. It's pretty much all fentanyl and trank. I forget the real name, what they call it, but
What is trank?
Trank is animal tranquilizer. There is a name to it, but I don't know. But yeah, it's fentanyl and trank. Trank pretty much just puts you out. Like you're up talking 1 minute and then you're sleeping. You either wake up sick, you got to get more, but you don't feel high like how heroin used to get you high. You don't itch. You don't have that warm feeling. You don't get that euphoria. You just do it just not to be sick. You don't really get the feeling you used to get.
And it's an animal tranquilizer for which kind of animal?
A horse or an elephant, that's what they say. Fentanyl and carfentanil and this tranquilizer. You never know, what mix it is.
And it really just puts you out?
Puts you out, yeah. And if you get something that don't put you out, you're just not sick. There's not really any euphoric high to it. Like when I first started doing heroin, you'd get like this warm feeling and you'd be ambitious. I'm going to do this and this. You could still go to work. You could hold a job. Well, in the beginning, this stuff you can't because you got to get high every couple hours. So it's like you poke, and if you smoke, and I smoke crack too, poke and smoke and poke and smoke, steal and poke and smoke and steal. There's nothing else. There's nothing else. Just poke, smoke, steal. Trick if that's your thing. Sometimes it is. But there's no other life at all.
You've been staying here. I met you near Kensington and Allegheny. You've been here how long?
Like 2 years or 2.5 years down here homeless.
Tell me about living down here.
Living down here, it's I guess that it's so unnormal it becomes your normal, But I got into meth with people up in a different county, in Bucks County. It's like more of a money area than where I'm from. And I thought I found like this miracle drug. You don't get sick from it and you can go to work, you know what I mean? These people all had jobs and houses, dressed nice. And I thought I found a miracle drug and I didn't do dope. But I don't know, they gave me too much or what happened, but it did something to my brain. So I come down here and these people they say shit, and it's like, and I never had schizophrenia, never had no mental problems like that. I come down here, and I don't know if it's because it's so fucking whacked, the shit that you see and the things that happen. My brain don't know how to understand it. I think everything, it's fake, it's an act, it's not fucking real. So like if I hear a gunshot when everyone else is going down, I'm like, fuck that. Is this the actors again trying to get my shot fucked up? Fuck that. I don't believe anything's real around me. And that's how I'm describing it, because if it is real, it's really crazy to me, I was on the bus the other day and the lady said, anybody fucks with me, I got a can of aerosol, vaginal aerosol or something, aerosol can and a lighter. And by the end of the thing, she was doing the aerosol can and the lighter to the dude's face. I'm like, is this real? Is this really real? And people getting in fights because this guy's mixing up his shit. And this guy don't want him mixing it up here. And they're pulling guns and shit. I wasn't raised like that, you know what I mean? I never even saw a gun before. And so it's like unreal to me.
Yeah, it's a crazy lifestyle. Does it become normalized after a while?
Yeah.
Like now you're used to it and it's just every day.
Yeah.
This is what you see.
Yeah, and I'm not sure what is real and what's not real. But sometimes I feel like there's actors out there, like maybe, I don't know, maybe we're like lab test for the government or something, and they put like actors there, like weird things happen, and these people will know things that, like say you never told somebody. You know what I mean? And they say it, but they're pretending like they're talking to someone else, but it's something that you just lived. And I don't do, like, I try not to do the meth because of that, being able to do that to my head, you know what I mean? But I don't know if they're putting meth in other drugs. It's like that all the time, everywhere. Even if I leave, if I don't do the drugs. I try to go to Center City, and it's like this everywhere. I tried to go to rehab 9 times. I've been in 34 rehabs. And,
You've been to 34 rehabs?
yeah. And, so I don't go to rehab to learn how to stay away from drugs no more. You know what I mean? I know all the little cliches with AA and all that shit. I go to put the distance between me and the drug. And then after that, my brain gets back to normal and I want to do good. You know what I mean? And this time, like, I didn't want to for a while. So every once in a while, I have, like, you know, a bad enough day to where I'm like, fuck that. And then I go and I sit and it's 6 hours or 8 hours and they don't get you in nowhere. So now you're like, fuck it. You got to go back out and, you know. But, like, before with real dope, I never lasted 6 months. I would get that shot that would give me that euphoria of wanting to do good. I don't get that no more at all. And I don't know if it's because all the other times I had hope, like I'll get back with my kids and, you know what I mean? This time I don't have nothing to go back to.
Are you afraid that maybe you'll be here for the rest of your life?
No, I still have hope that eventually I'll get out of it, you know? But it's like, even as much as, like, you learn to hate, like, on a level I never hated, you know? Like, I believe in God. But as much as you hate these fucking people that you see every day, it's crazy. It's like they become like your family. You start liking them. I used to look at them like you eat out dumpsters or people give you free food, and then you're sitting along with them. You are them.
Do you feel like you have any friends, real friends?
No, not real friends. I have one. There's a guy. It was a trick at first, but he, like, turned into, like, you know, I stayed with him. He gave me the keys on and off for like a year. And then he would, like, let me shower there, but we weren't really, you know what I mean? But he's clean, so he always be like, go to rehab, when you going to rehab? So every time he sees me, thank you. And that's all he says now. Go to rehab, go to rehab.
So sex work is something you've had to resort to sometimes?
Mm-hmm. And, like, I don't like it at all. You know what I mean? I don't like, some girls, like, they make, you know, I guess a good money. They do it all day, every day. I don't do that. Like, I resort to it if I had to, you know. I try to make it a full-time job. And after, like, you know, being locked in a couple of bandos, because you don't think about not being able to jump out of bando windows, them windows are fucking locked. Like, that happened once, I get scared. I don't do it again for a while. And another girl was held by knife point for 3 hours, and the dude made her, you know, suck his dick for 3 hours. And she's telling me a story, and she's crying. And she's like, yo, you want to go walk up and down wherever they, you know, walk up? I don't do that. Like, people will proposition me if I'm, like, sitting on the corner or something, and if I need money, I would do it or whatever. But I learned to steal meals, so I don't have to depend on somebody degrading me anymore. But, like people go through that shit and they're ready to go right back out. I'm not. I go through it and I get scared, you know. I don't do it for a little while.
What emotions do you go through living here?
Emotions.
You get depressed?
I think there's only really, like, 2. Either, like, you're having a good day, so you're happy, or you're pissed off because somebody just fucked up something for you, whether, you know, you were trying to steal out of the store and the security guard caught you, or there's really only 2 for me, up and down, pissed off or happy. And the happy really is contingent on how much money's in your pocket, and then that's going fast. And the thing is, like, every drug that I knew, every drug I've done my whole life growing up, these ain't the same drugs. Like, I smoke crack, I don't get the high I got before. So I constantly go to all these different spots and I'm like, they're selling me fake drugs. But if I know they're fake drugs, why the hell am I still doing them? And then the dope, I'm so afraid not to have it, I won't allow myself to go through the withdrawal. You know what I mean? This withdrawal, it's not like the heroin. It was like with heroin, you would be hot and cold. and your legs, and your stomach, or whatever. You would have like little symptoms. There was like steps to it. This shit, it's like you're fine, and you're thinking, all right, I don't need it. This one bag I did must have lasted this long. And then out of nowhere, you're shitting and throwing up. If you let yourself go so long, it's 3 days and you're doing dope and it's not getting you better. So you don't know, is it food poisoning? Is it stomach virus, or is this dope sick? So I just keep doing the damn dope to just not for that to happen again.
What does your typical day look like? You wake up in the morning.
I wake up at 8, like 7 or 8. Well, that's what times the stores will start opening. So if I wake up, I either slept on the Night Owl, which is an all-night bus that goes from Frankfurt to Upper Darby. You get off at Frankfurt, even though it's the same bus driver, they make you get off here, and then they pull over here, and you got to jump back on over here. And they'll let you on for free sometimes.
You're just on the bus because it's safer than being on the street? Warmer?
Oh, yeah, it's warmer,
yeah.
In the wintertime. And so you wake up, well, you get on the L. The L start like 5 or 6. And then, you start your day. What store are you going to go to? So I go to the store. And I go to, like a beer store around here where all the people hang out, put all my items on the table. They'll buy them up. But if they don't buy them up, now you got to walk to every single store and see if the people want to buy it. You could have $50, $60 items, and they're giving you $2, $4, $5. They ain't giving you, because they know you're a junkie. You're going to accept it, if you accept it. And then you make your money there. And you go get your little bit of drugs. You'd be able to relax for a minute. Then you got to go back out again. And I do it about 4 times a day. And then, I might not have to do it if, you get enough samples that, you can make you till the next night. You don't got to go back out. But that's not an everyday thing. I mean, samples are an everyday thing, but getting all 6 of them, you know what I mean, is not an everyday thing. So that's where, like, say you went out twice, you're tired of going out. That's where a trick comes, offer you something. Then that might be when you take it. And it's a place to stay. And it'll get you high on top of the money he's putting in your pocket. And you're tired. So that's when that shit starts looking good.
What would constitute a really good day for you? What does a good day look like?
A good day would look like, well, I go boosting, so I get the money from that. Then I get my Suboxones. So I'll have that as, I can sell them. And if I have my food stamps, if I have all 3 on the same day, that would be a good day. No matter how much money you have,
so you're
still broke the next day.
You have a prescription for Suboxone, but you sell them.
Yeah.
Rather than use them yourself.
Yeah. They're probably going to kick me off this time because it's been like a year and I never once had them in my system yet.
What are you afraid of at this point in your life?
Doing this forever. And turning, like, I don't know if you've seen the sores on people. The big holes that the trank is causing. I think they're starting now. It's been 2.5 years. I didn't think I was going to get them. But they're starting on my neck because that's where I put the needle at. And I don't like these people have holes. That's a fear. Like, I can't believe, like, I'm wearing these shoes. These shoes were at someone's house. I put them on because my other shoes were dirty, but because you have to look clean when you go into the store so they don't watch you. You know what I mean? But I would never wear not brand name sneakers. My front tooth is chipped. The fucking back ones are just like, they just crumble and fall out. Like, I would never let this shit go this long. I hid in the house both times I was pregnant. You know what I mean? Like, I was really shallow when it came to, I did my makeup like light. I wasn't like a hardcore dressed to the nines, but I would never look like this and be okay with it. And right now, this is a good day for clothes.
Did you ever dream as a young girl that this would be where you'd end up?
No.
What did you want to do when you were young?
I think I wanted to be a lawyer when I was young because my mom worked for lawyers, my aunt worked for lawyers, so I wanted to, I used to hear about them talk about their parties or the houses, how they used to have their houses, their living room done every year and how much money, like, I wanted to be rich as a kid. But like when I had my kids and I had a house in Florida, in-ground pool, cars, you know what I mean, the fiance, I was happy down there. I didn't do no drugs. I was like really, really into my kids there. And I was fucking happy. But I didn't know I was happy until you look back now and see like you were happy then, you know?
What do you feel set you on this path more than anything? Was it just your parents not being in your life?
Nah. Because I still, you know what I mean? You don't know what it's like then. Just have like family, you know what I mean? Like my family was normal to me. Like I still loved my life and all, you know, like I just looked at it as somebody told me once when I was younger, like my real mom's body was just a traveling vessel for me to get to my mom who raised me. I think like when she died, because she had unconditional love. No matter how fucked up you weren't homeless. You know what I mean? She loved you no matter what you did. So that kind of hurt me when she died, maybe. I don't know. But I got out of jail this last time and I went to a recovery house and I was clean. And I got involved with this guy I knew him from the Christian recovery house. I never knew like his lifestyle outside of it. He was like a meth head and a biker and all. And I know nothing about that shit at all. I just knew like my uncles, I remember when I was younger, they would do weird shit. And I found out older when I did drugs, like why would they paint on one side of every door, every other door, the paint on the inside, paint on the outside. And my aunt was like, oh, that's when they were doing meth and But I remember being little and thinking, they're weird, you know what I mean? So when I found out like that was meth, I thought meth was for older people and they just turned weird. I never really messed with the shit. And I did that. And the euphoric feeling or whatever I got, and plus like just getting with this dude, it was like a double whammy fucking high on both of them. And then he turned into like a monster, man, like a fucking monster. And he fucked up my head. I think that he gave me a hot shot on purpose. I think he fried me on purpose. And I lost my mind. And that's how I got back down here. And it was the only place I knew where, like, if you were homeless, you could sleep on the street and cops weren't going to fuck with you, you know? And I actually went back to an ex. And because of how fucked up I was in my head, I thought he was on my phone and he was doing this and he was doing that. He kicked me out. And that's really how I ended up out down here at the end of the PUA money. That money was kind of bad for me. And I came back down here, and I'm still here.
Is this your lowest point?
Yeah.
Right now?
Yeah.
The Needle Park, where I found you, is something that's hard to believe, just how many people are just injecting in broad daylight, not worried about cops, not worried about anything.
Yeah, I know.
And it's nothing but drug addicts.
I know. I was staying
in Big Park,
Bucks County, and the Uber driver drove me down, and he's like, "Oh wow, this is just open drug market or open air or something." And I don't know what the fuck. I didn't know what it meant. He's like, "Well, the girl's shooting needles in her legs." There, he was a cop from New Jersey or something, and he did this part time or something. The Uber, he said he never seen people do it so out in the open. I just thought every bad neighborhood, major city, that was like that. Like when you're young, you come down here, it's fun. You drive, you're like joyride. You come down here, you get whatever, your weed or your Xannies, but it used to be different then. You would drive your car down, and like 15 different people would come to the car, and they all put their hands in their car and be like, dope, hard, coke, and like if there was dust, you would smell it. It was like a safari, And then it got to a couple years later, park the car and walk up to the corner. And then I don't remember it ever being like this, where they have like whole cities of tents just on the regular street, But that's how it is. I mean, they have programs. They're giving the drug addicts free apartments to get them off the street, but there's not enough programs. There are enough apartments. There were probably not enough funding to pay for drug addicts to have free apartments,
What's your biggest regret?
Biggest regret is not the day that when my kids got placed with my aunt, not getting it together and getting back there. because I told him I'll be back. I was getting $26,000 in a couple of days. I was going back to Florida. I knew I was in trouble. I knew I was getting too fucked up. And CYS came and placed it with my aunt. And I had 3 weeks till the money was coming. And my plan was to, like, you know, go to get everything set up. She was going to hand the kids back, you know, get CYS out of it. And then CYS. Well, anyway, so I told the kids, I'm going to Uncle Chris's in Delaware, you know, I'll be back for you. I never, ever broke a promise, never once, even on drugs. I wouldn't make the promise. And that was the one thing I fucking broke. The most important one. I never understood how my mom left and never fucking turned around for me or my sister. I never understood it. And I fucking did the same thing she did. And that's the thing I can never get over.
Crystal, what would you say is the most important lesson you've learned in your life?
The most important lesson that I wish I would have just fucking enjoyed and took things slower when I had my kids. And then another lesson I'm learning now, like, I didn't realize how many, like, you can't trust. There's so much bad and evil. That's important. I really always trusted people. I learned you can't really trust anybody, nobody. And I keep trying over and over, and they always keep proving me wrong.
All right, Crystal, thank you so much for sharing your story.
Thanks.
I wish you the best of luck. I hope you figure out a way
I will.
to get clean.
Thanks.
Thank you very much.